Well, to speak on this further, legal practitioner and political affairs analyst Liberos Oshoma joins me on the news. Thank you for your time, Mr. Oshoma. Now, having listened to Atiku's speech, what's your takeaway from what he has said?
Atiku, having been a former vice president of Nigeria, is not talking like another statesman. And also, having been a litigant in so many instances, I expect more from him. I expect him to, talk, like another statesman, because there are procedures in court. Atiku had gone to court not claiming that he won, but that the court should disqualify the candidates that won the election. And there are procedures for doing that. If he strongly, had all of this document and all of this evidence before him, I wonder why he didn't approach the court before the election, why he had to wait till after the horse had bolted before he's now trying to blackmail the court and the Supreme Court, to do his bidding. And that other statesmen don't talk and behave like that. He was the former vice president of Nigeria, and they had an opportunity to strengthen electoral laws, him and Obasanjo, and they would have written their name in books in the sand of time in Nigeria, and they didn't do that. Yes, he said he will be around. Nigeria need him around. Nigeria need at this stage. Nigeria need a very strong. Nigeria need a very strong opposition at this stage to put APC on their toe, but not this kind of opposition of, blackmail and, intimidating institutions. There should be a purposeful opposition, how to do it better, and then use their state controlled by PDP as a leader in PDP. Use state controlled by PDP to show example on how to do it better, like a Labour Party is doing in Abia State. And so that's the way you show disagreement. Now trying to pull institution of states down because, they disagree with you. For me, it's not the way to go about it as another statement. And like I said, there are procedures, clearly legal procedures for doing these things. And he knows that, like the Supreme Court also has said, that you cannot bring in fresh evidence, at the tail end of any election petition matter and ask the court, to accept those evidence and then rule on it. No matter how much you think that the winner of the election, how do I put it now? How culpable the winner of the election is. I think with the lesson learned from them should be that, all of this, before the election, you find a way of putting them forward, ensure that the candidate is not even, found in the ballots.
Speaking of the opposition that you mentioned earlier, speaking of the opposition which you mentioned earlier, do you think that Atiku Abubakar can galvanize other parties together to play the opposition role?
Quickly, frankly, I had expected them to even play better opposition by now. But unfortunately, it is the mass media and the social media that are doing a fantastic opposition than what Atiku and his likes are doing. I expected them, to consistently be on the toes of APC, show them how to do it better. But what I see is a necessary bickering and no opposition. It is the people, really, and the social media that are playing opposition and consistently on the heel of the APC. And if it continues like this, I think in 2027, he will just end up just being around. At the end of the day, continue with all of this bickering, because people would want to see what you can truly do differently. These days, people no longer just throw votes around.
Liberos Oshoma, legal practitioner and political affairs analyst, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts.